Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day of Finding Hope Through Faith. My name is Daniel. So today we're getting into Numbers chapter 26. This whole chapter has been wild. A lot of people murmurings and second guessings and getting dead. They're getting dead by their own hand, which doesn't make sense if you just did whatever the Lord said, right? But no, just do whatever you want, right? Because we're people, and we can't leave shit alone, and we just go against what is best for us. Makes no sense. All the things that they've done, they keep just doing the same thing over and over again. But hopefully people will stop now. It's time to stop. It's time to stop. And I think we could do that in our lives now in 2026. It's time to stop. Whatever's going on, it's time to stop. We can't keep doing what we're doing because it's not working. We got to try something better. I don't know what that is, but doggone it, something's got to change. So let's start Numbers 26, and then we'll get into it. Thank you for coming to see me, and I hope everybody's doing well. It looks like this year's starting off absolutely wild. Hopefully it doesn't escalate any more than what it already has. Anyway, let's get into it. The Lord said to Moses and Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, take a census by ancestral houses throughout the community of the Israelites, of all those of 20 years or more who are fit for military service in Israel. So now Israel is a place and not a person. So on the plains of Moab, along the Jericho stretch of the Jordan, Moses and the priest Eleazar registered those of 20 years or more, as the Lord had commanded Moses. The Israelites who came out of the land of Egypt were as follows. So basically, list all those people. 43,730 men were registered. Okay. The same Dathan and Abiram, counselors of the community, who revolted against Moses and Aaron, like Korah's band when it had rebelled against the Lord, the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them as a warning. Korah too, and the band that died when the fire consumed 250 men. The descendants of Korah, however, did not die out. The Seminites by clans were. Okay, so then that just lists all of these people. These are the clans of the Seminites, of whom 22,200 men were registered. All right. And the Gadites, 40,500 men. Judahites, let's see. There's a lot. Okay, let's get past all this. Oh, goodness, there's a lot. There's a lot. Okay, so it's going to be, if you go through here and read it, just so I can skip ahead a little bit, because I don't know if this information is important. There's a lot of people. It was from, let's see, verse 5. And it goes all the way well, it keeps going to 51. So total Israelites who were registered were 601,730. It's a lot of people. The Lord said to Moses, "Among these groups the land shall be divided as their heritage, in keeping with the number of individuals in each group. To a large group you shall assign a large heritage, to a small group a small heritage, each group receiving its heritage in proportion to the number of men registered in it. But the land shall be divided by lot, as the heritage of various ancestral tribes. As a lot falls, each group, large or small, be assigned to its clan of the Gershonites, through Kohath, the clan of the Kohathites. Okay? Through Merari, the clan of and the Merarites. These also are the clans of Levi. Okay? So we're going to keep going. We're going to move past a little bit. Okay. Okay. The total number of male Levites, 1 month or more of age, who were registered was 23,000. They were not registered with the other Israelites, however, for no heritage was given them among the Israelites. These then were the men registered by Moses and the priest Eleazar in the census of the Israelites taken on the plains of Moab along with Jericho stretch of the Jordan. I guess they needed to have all this information written out of each one. We're not used to that today. I bet a lot of ancient texts are like that, honestly. Among them, there was not a man of those who had been registered by Moses and the priest Aaron in the census of the Israelites taken in the desert of Sinai. For the Lord had told them that they would surely die in the desert, and not one of them was left except Caleb and Joshua. All right. Okay. So Zelophehad, I don't know. I butchered that. Had daughters, and one of them was named Noah, which is interesting. They came forward, and standing in the presence of Moses, the priest Eleazar, the princess, and the whole community at the entrance of the meeting tent, said, "Our father died in the desert, although he did not join those who banded together against the Lord. He died for his own sin without leaving any sons. But why should our father's name be withdrawn from his clan merely because he had no son? Let us therefore have property among your father's kinsmen." When Moses laid their case before the Lord said to him, "The plea of the daughters is just. You shall give them hereditary property among their father's kinsmen, letting their father's heritage pass on to them. Therefore tell the Israelites, if a man dies without leaving a son, you shall let his heritage pass on to his daughter. If he has no daughter, you shall give his heritage to his brothers. If he has no brothers, you shall give his heritage to his father's brothers. If his father has no brothers, you shall give his heritage to the nearest relative in his clan, who shall then take possession of it. This is the legal norm for the Israelites, as the Lord commanded Moses." The Lord said to Moses, "Go up here into the Abarim mountains and view the land that I am giving to the Israelites. When you have viewed it, you shall be taken to your people as your brother Aaron. Because in the rebellion of the community in the desert of Zin, you both rebelled against my order to manifest my sanctity to them by means of water. This is the water of Meribah, of Kadesh, in the desert of Zin." Then Moses said to the Lord, "May the Lord, the God of the spirits of all mankind, set over the community a man who shall act as their leader in all things, to guide them in all their actions, and the Lord's community may not be like sheep without a shepherd." And the Lord replied to Moses, "Take Joshua, son of Nun, a man of spirit, and lay your hand upon him. Have him stand in the presence of the priest Eleazar and of the whole community, and commission him before their eyes. Invest him with some of your own dignity, that the whole Israelite community may obey him. He shall present himself to the priest Eleazar, to have him seek out from the decisions of the Urim in the Lord's presence, as he directs Joshua. All of the Israelites with him and the community as a whole shall perform all their actions. Moses did as the Lord had commanded him, taking Joshua and having him stand in the presence of the priest Eleazar and the whole community. He laid his hands on him and gave him his commission, as the Lord had directed through Moses. I'm going to chapter 28 now. The Lord said to Moses, "Give the Israelites this commandment at the times I have appointed. You shall be careful to present me the food offerings that are offered to me as a sweet-smelling oblations. You shall tell them, therefore, this is the oblation which you shall offer the Lord. 2 unblemished yearling lambs each day as the established holocaust, offering one lamb in the morning and the other during the evening twilight, each with a cereal offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of hin of oil of crushed olives. This is the established holocaust that was offered at Mount Sinai as a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. And as the libation for the first lamb, you shall pour out to the Lord in the sanctuary 1/4 of a hin of wine. The other lamb to be offered during the evening twilight, you shall offer with the same sweet cereal offering and the same libation as the morning, as a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. On the Sabbath day you shall offer 2 unblemished yearling lambs with their cereal offering, 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, and with their libations. Okay, there we go. All right. There we go. Each Sabbath, there shall be the Sabbath holocaust in addition to the established holocaust and its libation. On the first of each month, you shall offer as a holocaust to the Lord 2 bullocks, 1 ram, and 7 unblemished yearling lambs. First of each month. Whew, he wants a lot. But I can guarantee if they do this, then they're going to be fine. If he's saying it's fine, then it's fine. Like, he's like, this is what I require, right? With 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, a cereal offering for each bullock. 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil is a cereal offering for the ram, and 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a cereal offering. Okay. Here we go. Okay, offering to the Lord. And the holocaust may be a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. Their libations shall be 1/2 a hin of wine for each bullock, 1/3 a hin for the ram, and 1/4 for each year for each lamb. This is the new moon holocaust for every new moon of the year. Moreover, 1 goat shall be sacrificed as sin offering to the Lord. These are to be offered in addition to the established holocaust and its libation. On the 14th day of the first month falls the Passover feast. For 7 days unleavened bread is to be eaten. On the first of these days you shall hold a sacred assembly and do no sort of work. As an oblation you shall offer a holocaust to the Lord, which shall consist of 2 bullocks, 1 ram, and 7 yearling lambs, that you are sure or unblemished, with their cereal offerings of fine flour mixed with oil, offering 3/10 of an ephah for each bullock, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. And offer 1 goat as a sin offering in atonement for yourselves. These offerings you shall make in addition to the established morning holocaust. You shall make exactly the same offerings each day for 7 days as food offerings in addition to the established holocaust with its libation, for a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. On the 7th day you shall hold a sacred assembly and do no sort of work. On the 7th day, on the day of first fruits, on the sacred assembly, and do no sort of work. Wow, it's a lot. No work. That's great. On the day of fruits, on your feast of weeks, when you present the Lord the new cereal offering, you shall hold a secret assembly and do no sort of work. You shall offer a sweet-smelling holocaust to the Lord, 2 bullocks, 1 ram, and 7 yearling lambs, that you are sure are unblemished, with their cereal offerings, a fine flour mixed with oil, offering 3/10 of an ephah for each bullock, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 of each for the 7 lambs. Moreover, 1 goat shall be offered as a sin offering and atonement for yourselves. You shall make these offerings together with their libations, in addition to the established holocaust with a cereal offering. Well, wow, that's a lot of death. But again, if the Lord says this is what it requires, and they're obviously following him, then you don't piss off God. Don't do against what he says. So, and now we're in number 29. Okay. The Lord said to Moses, on the first day of the 7th month, you shall hold a secret assembly and do no sort of work. It shall be a day on which you sound the trumpet. You shall offer a sweet-smelling holocaust to the Lord, 1 bullock, 1 ram, and 7 unblemished yearling lambs, with their cereal offerings of fine flour mixed with oil, offering 3/10 of an ephah for the bullock, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. Moreover, 1 goat shall be offered as a sin offering and atonement for yourselves. These are to be offered in addition to the ordinary new moon holocaust with its cereal offering, in addition to the established holocaust with its cereal offering, together with the libations prescribed for them, as a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. On the 10th day of this 7th month, you shall hold a sacred assembly, and mortify yourselves, and do no sort of work. You shall offer a sweet-smelling holocaust to the Lord, 1 bullock, 1 ram, and 7 yearling lambs, that you are sure are unblemished, with their cereal offerings of fine flour mixed with oil, offering 3/10 of an ephah for the bullock, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. Moreover, 1 goat shall be sacrificed as a sin offering. These are to be offered in addition to the atonement sin offering, the established holocaust with a cereal offering and their libations. On the 15th day of the month, you shall hold a sacred assembly and do no sort of work. It seems like it's the same. You shall offer a sweet-smelling holocaust to the Lord, 13 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 yearling lambs that are unblemished, with their cereal offerings of fine flour mixed with oil, offering 3/10 of an ephah for each of the 13 bullocks, 2/10 for each of the 2 rams, and 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs. Moreover, 1 goat shall be sacrificed as sin offering. These are to be offered in addition to the established holocaust with its cereal offering and libation. On the 2nd day you shall offer 12 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 unblemished yearling lambs, with their cereal offerings and libations as prescribed for the bullocks, rams, and lambs in proportion to their number, as well as 1 goat for sin offering, besides the established holocaust with a cereal offering and libation. On the 3rd day you shall offer 11 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 unblemished yearling lambs. They're going through a lot of cattle, man. I guess they had a lot. I mean, it's a lot of people. With the cereal offerings and libations as prescribed for the bullocks, rams, and lambs in proportion to their number, as well as 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the established holocaust with its cereal offering and libation. On the 6th day you shall offer 8 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 unblemished yearling rams, with their cereal offerings and prescribed for the bullocks and rams in proportion, rams and lambs in proportion to their number, as well as a cereal offering and libation. On the 7th day you shall offer 7 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 unblemished, with the same everything else, as well as 1 goat for sin offering. On the 8th day you shall hold a solemn meeting and do no sort of work. You shall offer up in holocaust as a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord 1 bullock, 1 ram, and 7 unblemished yearling lambs, with their cereal offerings and libations as prescribed for the bullocks, rams, and lambs in proportion to their number, as well as 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the established holocaust with the cereal offering and libation. These are the offerings you shall make to the Lord on your festivals, besides whatever Holocaust, cereal offerings, libations, and peace offerings you present as your votive or free will offerings. Well, wow. I think that's a lot, but he's very specific of what he wants. Very, very specific. Gotta love a man who knows what he wants. Anyway. So, a little bit more death and killing, of course, all the animals. We're going to pick up where we left off tomorrow. Hopefully it gets a little better, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining in. Have a good day.